Welcome, former cyclist, founder and managing partner of Next Ventures, Lance Armstrong, in a candid conversation with health tech reporter at Axios, Aaron Brodwin.
Lance, I feel like you are a little bit of a poster child for the key word in this panel, which is adversity.
All of these things that have happened in my life really prepared me to sort of manage and try to overcome literally going from hero to zero overnight. So I leaned into my family, I leaned into my own health and well-being, and just crossed my fingers that hopefully one day I'd have a chance.
You had a podcast, and there was a point at which you started getting a lot of deal flow, like through your podcast. So how did that influence Next Ventures and your idea to start a fund? Tell us more about that.
If my downfall happened 20 years ago, and you couldn't buy mics and you couldn't upload a show to Apple Podcasts or Spotify or YouTube or whatever, I'm toast. Nobody's calling again. But we're living in a day and age when anybody can create content, and so it empowered me to go out there and do it. So I started my show, which was just a general interview-style show, interviewing interesting people. And then I built a second show, which was a cycling show.
I wonder, how do you think about making sure that you're placing the right bets, but you're also not investing or supporting, cultures of deception or smoke and mirrors, as I said earlier. Like, how do you think about that stuff?
I rely heavily on my network, and I've been around not just sports, but I've been around health and healthcare for, more than half my life. So, for example, we had some questions just in and around healthcare the other day, and I said with the team, and not just about healthcare, but where healthcare and politics sort of intersect. And I said, well, why don't we get Sanjay Gupta on the line? And so, to your point, I know what I know, and I know what I don't know, and I play to my strengths, and I think the whole team does, but I really defer to them and trust them.
What would you say is the most misunderstood thing about you?
I'm completely liberated. I've been given a chance to play offense again, and I'm super grateful for that. And that might be the one thing that could be misunderstood. And I also know that I'm not for everybody, right? This is a 50-50 game.
Are any of us?
Right, but it's a 50-50 game for me for the rest of my life, and that is okay. I'm totally cool with that.
You raised $500 million for cancer research, which every time I say that out loud, I'm like, how in the world? What kind of lessons did that teach you about venture?
Because I have no problem now asking for money. Like if I'm meeting with, let's just imagine we're going to raise another fund. If I had the same fearlessness now around asking for money back then, we'd have raised $1 billion.
How do you think about integrating mental health into your own regimen, and how do you think entrepreneurs and founders should be thinking about it?
Mental health, I think, needs to rebrand itself as mental fitness. It's just, and I'm super proud of society for helping erase this not that it's totally erased, but as we slowly but surely peel back the layers and erase the stigma.
We talked earlier about getting deal flow through the podcast. Are you still getting deal flow through the podcast?
The name of the game is deal flow. The name of the game right after that is winning the deal. The one thing I like to tell people is we have a very basic approach. If we've done the diligence, we like the deal, we want to invest, it's a competitive market, we ask, founder X, hey, speak to 3 or 4 of our existing founders and come back to us. And I'm never shocked, and I'm always so proud of the answer once they have talked to, what does Next do for you? Right? Does Lance do anything? He's got all these smart people around him. Does this guy even do anything? I don't know the answer to that, but it's once that process is finished, then typically we get the deal.
I wanted to talk about your care journey too. I mean, we're at a healthcare conference. As I said, cancer at 25, stage 3.
When I was diagnosed, I was living in Austin, Texas, which of course now the world views as like the coolest, smartest city in America. Or a lot of people do. But back then, we didn't have a medical school. We didn't have a specific cancer hospital. We had just sort of 7-Eleven depots of oncology. Like, go down there, fill up your car, And I said, look, I don't know very much, but this doesn't feel right. So I'm going to start to move around. So I went to Houston, talked to MD Anderson, and then I eventually ended up in Indiana and met the legend, Dr. Larry Einhorn. But I knew that I wasn't stopping until I was finally in the place that A, I thought would cure me, but more importantly, B, if I wasn't going to be cured and I wasn't going to live, I would have known that that was my best shot. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Lance and Aaron.